Hello and welcome. Just thought I'd do a short video or long video, depending on how long it'll be. It's going to be my Normandy impression, which is the 82nd Airborne, 505th Parachute Infantry Regiment, Regimental Combat Team. And this is the impression for Normandy 1944. So to start off with, I'm going to begin with the jacket and the trousers in a basic uniform. Then I'm going to move on to spare kit, web kit, weapon, and other different little bits and bobs. Hopefully this won't be boring or too long. Hopefully it should be entertaining for you all, but we'll see, and well, you'll be the judge of whether it's entertaining or not. So I'm going to start with the jacket. I have absolutely no idea who made the jacket, but for the purpose of what I'm doing, it seems perfectly fine. There's nothing majorly screaming out that's wrong about it. So starting off with the insignia, as you can see, it is badged up for the 82nd Airborne. Not a great patch. This one came from Soldier of Fortune. Perhaps at one point I will upgrade the patch. On the left sleeve is the invasion flag. Now this one came from Stand in the Door 1944, and it is either an original gauze that's been printed on, or it's original. I'm not 100% sure, but as opposed to using the ones that sort of wrap around the arm or the ones that are just like pinned on, I decided to use the gauze flag because I thought it looked nicer. Moving on to the pockets, they're rammed full of shit, which is how they're supposed to look, because let's face it, there's nothing worse than seeing a jacket with empty pockets. And what's even worse is seeing a jacket that hasn't been CC2'd, which this jacket has been CC2'd. So starting with the left pocket, I have a little envelope with all different types of chewing gum in. So we got beech nut, juicy fruit, what one's this? Fleers, another beech nut, Wrigley's, and then I've got beech nut assorted candy drops. I have shit tickets, because you know everyone's got to take a shit at some point. And then I have tin opener, bottle opener, because who knows when I'm going to eat, or who knows if I'm going to find some tin food in German positions or even in French houses. Might even get a Red Cross parcel and there might be some tin goods in it, so it's always handy to have a tin opener. And then shoved into the pocket, which is more down this end, is just a spoon, because you never know when you're going to eat, and it's better to have it on you and easily accessible. And then shoved in here, I've got a pencil, and then inside this pocket I have my wallet. There's a little train ticket there, ignore that, that's a modern bank card and ID. There's some naughty pictures and invasion currency, which there's a fair bit in there, because obviously before Normandy, Allied troops were all issued invasion currency so they could buy things like, I don't know, food, cigarettes, coffee at a cafe, all those sort of things. Maybe even buy a night with a woman. Now I've got cigarettes, I've got Chesterfield, group ID card, and 20 pack of Chesterfield, which for when I go to Normandy I'm just going to put my cigarettes in there. Saves having them in a modern packaging or tin or something. Then in this pocket I've got an assortment of beverage powders: orange juice, coffee, orange juice, coffee. Not sure what that is. I think it's a ticket of some sort. Hershey's Tropical. US Army Field Ration D 4-ounce bar. US Army Field Ration D 2 ounces. Another coffee. And some lifesavers. So plenty of snacks. Shouldn't go too hungry. And then in this pocket I have a green neckerchief sweat rag. Mainly I just put it in there to bulk the pocket out so it didn't look empty. But if it gets pretty hot in Normandy and I start getting an itchy neck from the wool shirt, then I could just put that on, and at least it's not a fucking cut up parachute like everybody else uses. Because cut up parachutes, yeah, no, it's way overdone. Way overdone and just looks naff. Then moving on, I've got the trousers. I'll also be keeping my garrison cap in the trousers. The garrison cap's a repro from Soldier of Fortune. Nothing special about it. But the patch is a really fucking nice patch. And if you want decent patches for your impression, the only place I would recommend buying patches is Misdrop 44. There's this really crazy guy called Dan the Macking Man, and he actually makes the best patches I've seen. It used to be Green Army Productions. He used to make the best ones, but he doesn't make them anymore. And the only other person who makes any decent patches is Stand in the Door 1944. But if you're in Europe, that means you got to pay the customs fees as well as the postage. And that's going to make a $8 patch turn into about a $25 patch. Whereas you can go to Dan, get a patch for, I don't know, maybe £5 or so. Pay, I don't know, maybe £1 or £2 for postage or something, and get a decent patch for about 6 or 7 quid. So I recommend going to Misdrop 44 and checking them out. So that will go in one pocket. Again, the trousers are also CC2'd. I've got my braces on there. And in this pocket, French phrase book, also from Misdrop 44. So I don't speak frogs, so I'll take that along and hopefully I can get them to understand what I'm saying. And then next I also have a load of different maps of Normandy. Areas around Saint-Mary-Glade, Carentan, Utah and Omaha Beach, San Marie de Mont, and a few other different places. Because what I'm planning on doing when I go to Normandy is using my pencil. I'm going to plot different grid references for all the places that I visit, and then after I come back from Normandy, I'm probably going to put all in one big frame or something and stick it on a wall. So that will be going in this pocket with my French phrase book, which also bulks that pocket out. Now, obviously I'm not just going to wear the jacket without anything on underneath. So for that, I'm not going to be wearing a white t-shirt because it's wrong. Instead, I will be wearing an OD singlet, as should everybody else. And under that above that OD singlet, but under the jacket, a wool shirt, which everybody should be doing. You should all wear a wool shirt. No exceptions. It doesn't matter if it gets hot. They wore it, you can wear it. Then of course, GI issue boxers. And then along with them, boots. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any Corcorans because I don't think they're making them anymore, and price is a little pricey on eBay. You can still get good deals, but I wanted to make sure I at least had a pair of boots. So these ones are, I believe, Sturm. I've polished them, dubbed them, even used acetone to take the shine off of them because they got like this weird plasticky shine all over the leather, and you can't get your polish or anything to soak in. So a bit of acetone, take that off, polished them, dubbed them, and now they're good to go. I also took the shitty laces out and put some proper laces in, which I also got from Misette 44, which you'll probably be hearing that quite a bit. So those are the boots I'll be wearing. And then of course, I'll also be wearing a helmet. You always need your helmet. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, that's the wrong helmet. The actual helmet I need is this one. Don't ask me which one it is. It's either an M1, M1C, M2, whatever it is, I don't know. All I know, it's a paratrooper helmet. Obviously the chin cup's been took off because when you're on the ground, the chin cup's just going to be dangling there. It gets annoying. Some took them off, put them in their pockets. Some tucked up into the liner. But yeah, on mine, it's just completely off. And there's Kilroy inside. I'm not actually sure if this is a slightly post-war one or if it is original wartime. I'm not entirely sure. But it's got the correct net on there for 82nd. And it does the job it's supposed to do. So, moving on. I have a wool blanket, which on this trip I'll be taking 2 because I want to be comfortable. I don't want to just use one wool blanket and then maybe one night it gets a little colder. I'll sooner have 2 so that I'm at least alright. I also have spare rations. So, Holloway's milk duds. This little vanilla caramels box, I'm going to put some dextrose in. Mainly because I'm a type 1 diabetic and my blood sugar levels can drop quite easily. So I'm going to put some dextrose tablets in there so that I'm at least sorted and it hides them. I got some drone dairy fruit bars. Nice source of sugar. Could be melted down, made into a sort of jam or something. Some more D bars. Some more cigarettes. Again, I'm just going to put my cigarettes in these, and when them ones run out, I'll just swap them over, and then when I get downtime in the evening or something, I'll just refill them. I've also got some partial dinner units. This is all going in my duffel bag. I won't actually be carrying this, because let's face it, they would never have carried that much. At most, they'd probably have either a breakfast, a supper, or a dinner unit. Not all 3, but one of them. They would have had one of them in their Musette bag. And even then, you wouldn't even have the full-on big box. You'd open the box up, take all the stuff out, put it into your kit, into your pockets, into your Musette bag. You just stick it wherever. The actual box itself, you'd throw that away. Also got a can of some coffee. Also from Misette 44. I got a white cot strap. This is from Stand in the Door 1944. I think this is made with some original webbing, I'm not sure. But I don't have a M3 leg knife or scabbard. I might pick one up, but I probably wouldn't take one to Normandy. Mainly because I don't want to get one seized. Then I've got some captured German church candles, which this is great for at night when you're in your pup tent. Saves having to use your the battery on your torch, or if you get your phone out and you use the torch, it saves the battery. So you just stick one of them in there, just light it, and it gives off enough light to fully light up a pup tent. I use these all the time when doing German. I have one in Musette barn. Absolutely brilliant. You just can't beat them. Then moving on, I have my hygiene kit, so I'll just move these boots out of the way. Original 1940s comb. It's actually a German one, but it also works for American. Obviously not a period bottle, but Vaseline hair tonic is what I use for my hair. I don't use any of that matte clay or stuff like that, purely because it rips clumps of hair out. But this is my hygiene kit, and it's 1940s, 1950s. So it's sort of right for the time period, and I use it for both German and American. So inside I have shaving mirror, spare razor blades, a file, toothbrush, some more razor blades. These are German ones. Then I have some shaving cream. I've got my razor. I've got my toothpaste, Craig Martin, brush. There's a shaving brush in here, foot powder in this tube, and then in this dish I've got, it's actually, again, it's also German, bar of dryer soap. But soap's soap, you just use whatever you add. So that's my hygiene kit. Rubbers. You never know when you're going to need a Johnny. And I'm curious to find out if the myth about French women is true. Or if I don't get to find out if the myth about French women is true, at least I got protection from Dan. Yeah, sorry Dan, I had to make a joke there somewhere. Pocket knife, always handy. You never know if you got to, cut some rope, or chop something up. It's also got a little groove in there if you got to, cut some rope, cut some wire or something. So always a handy thing to have. One US hook towel. Yeah, again, that's with hygiene. Basic civilian tea towel. Useful thing to have when washing. It's bigger in size than a hook towel, so better if you got your helmet, take your liner out, have a wash in there or something. Yeah, so moving on to the spare bits I'm going to have in my duffel bag. Oh, actually, that won't be. The belt I'll be wearing, so that'll be with that. So the spare stuff for the duffel bag will be socks, underwear, and some OD singlets. I'll also have a 5-button jumper in case or sweater, depending on what you call it, if it gets cold at night in Normandy. I don't know if it does, it might not. So I figured best be prepared. And this is, I recently bought it. It's an original, January 1945, and it came from Belgium or Holland. I'm not entirely sure where it came from. Then I've got my wool shirt. It has had repairs at some point. That's also an original. So they'll be in my duffel bag. Then moving on to what will be in my Musette bag. I'll be taking my mess tins. US EA & Co 1945 original. Very nice condition. Obviously, paratroopers didn't jump with these, but obviously we're going over to Normandy. We're going to be there for 8 days. We're going to be fed breakfast and we're going to be fed dinner. So, thought best to take that. I can leave it in the camp because I'm not going to need it on the move. And at least I've got something to eat my food out of. Got some sugar, you know, Domino sugar, extra fine granulated sugar. You know, I could stick that in a brew or something if my bloods go low. Spare boot laces, spare trouser twists for obviously blouse and my trousers. Some more milk duds, Field Ration D, fruit bar. Got some bullion powder for if I fancy something warm. Manual on VD, because you know you never know what you need to look out for. Jeep cap, little can opener, some matches, some more candy, chocolate, socks, spare socks, because obviously there's lots of little ditches, rivers and stuff in Normandy, and you know you might wander into a ditch and think, oh shit, this is full of water. Or you might be walking for quite some time, your feet get really sweaty, they get all moist, you want to change your socks. So I'll keep a pair of socks in my Musette bag. Some black fabric tape, because you never know when you might need some. Knife and fork. Wouldn't normally carry it, but for the purpose of this trip I'm carrying it. German Esbit cooker, purely because I don't actually have the American cooker, so I'm just using that. It's an original. It's quite a plausible sort of item that you know you might have picked up. And then a couple of Field Ration Ks that I'll have in my kit. These ones are open, so I'll just show what's inside one of these. So as the name suggests, it's a partial dinner unit. So you got a bar of chocolate, you got some Nabisco biscuits, some sugar, and some coffee. And then this is what is in the other one, because there's a few different types. So that one's D3, this is D4. So this one, you get a stick of gum, you get biscuits, you get some sugar, you get fruit bar, and you get some coffee. So each one's slightly a little bit different. Moving on, I've got my raincoat, M1938 dismounted. This is from Soldier of Fortune. That'll go under the flap of my Musette bag. Yeah, M1 Garands are boring, so I'm thinking 1911 with a shoulder holster, maybe a hip holster as well, carry a second one. And I'm thinking of using that, because I don't want to use a Garand, they're boring, they're fun. Yeah, only joking. Don't use that. And definitely don't use a 1911. I think if you use a 1911, you're probably going to get hit. I'm not on about hit as in a battle. I mean, all the other guys who are doing airborne properly will turn around and fucking batter your ass. So always stick to a Garand. This one's a Denix, which I have redone myself, made it look more correct. So that's what I'm using. My web kit, which is half original, half repro. Pistol belt's original. I can't actually remember what year it is. 1942. So 42 dated pistol belt, 42 or 43 dated cargo pouch, original suspenders, original ammo bandolier, also filled with M blocks and rounds. I've actually ordered a kit to make this more proper, like the cards and everything that were going at the cardboard packaging that each M block with rounds would sit in. The Musette bag is original, 1942. Now, as for the repro stuff, this rigger pouch and this rigger pouch is from Standing in the Door 1944. Really nice copies. I have sort of dirtied them up a little bit, stuck my fingers on some coal, just untied and tied up them a few times, rubbed my fingers where, you know, get dirty or something. That rigger pouch, I don't know where it came from. I think it's a Soldier of Fortune one, maybe. I stuck some black tape over it. That hides it a bit. So that's going to sit on the back of my belt. When they jumped, they'd tape down the pouches, and obviously ripped the tape off when they used the rounds. The entrenching tool is repro. I think it's SEMS. I don't know what company that is or not, but the e-tool carrier is made by HTC Canvas, which they are actually really fucking good. I'm actually really impressed with their work. Same with the canteen cover, that is also made by HTC, and it is brilliant. Inside I do have an original canteen and cup. The cup is 1944. Oh no, wait, that's the canteen. That's 1944. The cup's still in there. Now this is going to be a bastard to get out. Come on. So the cup is, let's get this to focus. US Ingersoll products. Can't actually see a date on there. So I'm not sure what year it is, but the canteen's 1944. So that's what I'll be using. It's much better than a repro. I find most repros are kind of shit. Even with German, you kind of want to get an original canteen, not the enamel ones, but the aluminium ones. Oh, then I've also got an original GP ammo bag, and this is, I'm not sure if it's transitional or not, because it's got OD7 around here and then OD3. But it is Litchfield MFG cone 1944. The strap, trying to find original straps is not easy, because whereas most would have either two D-rings or two of these clips, this has got one clip, one D-ring. So I've had to use this strap, which is post-war. Where's the date? It's about post-war 1950, I think. I think it's 1950. But it works, it does the job. Also keeping that in there. That's also from Mistrop 44. Just gives me something to read when I'm on the truck, travelling down to the port, and then hopping over on the ferry. Oh, apologies, my hand's in the way of the camera. Something else I will be taking is my Class A's. This is for in the evening in San Meriglay. The jacket is original. Not actually sure what year. It'll be in there somewhere, but it's an original A-class with original buttons. The jump wings are reproduction, and the oval is also reproduction, made by Mistrop 44. The shoulder patch is made by Stand in the Door 1944. And then with that, I have a tie, and I have M37 wool trousers. The trousers are repro. So yeah, that's That's my kit for Normandy. I know some people might say, oh, you're carrying way too much stuff. But what you got to bear in mind, all of that's going in the Musette bag. All of this and all of this is going in my duffel bag. The rest of it is going to be in my pockets. So really, I'd say it's all right. I mean, it's less than what I take to most events. Because when I do German, I've got fucking loads of stuff. I mean, I usually take an MP40, an MG42, P38 pistol. If I'm doing Fallschirmjäger, I'm taking an RZ20 parachute and all the other different bits and bobs. But yeah. Oh, actually, one last thing. If you don't want to use an American spoon, you can use one of these. Now, in Italy and in France, American troops used to like getting these. There was actually quite a prized item to get. Because obviously you got your spoon, but then you've also got a fork. And it folds